Good morning, traders, and this is your Dow Jones Day trade setup for today. So starting quickly on the daily, we've got a range bar that has formed, and it was a pretty volatile day. In actual fact, a terrific day for scalping. But the range itself is 1,300 points, which is basically a 6.7% swing on the Dow. So the volatility is still there, and currently we've had a gap down, and we are sort of gap down and then another gap down, and gap down is not there. We've had a gap down, and we're sort of meandering to the downside. There's a couple of things at play at the moment that I can see right now, and one is that this does look like it's a channel that's forming. Okay, now it could also be a bigger flag. It could be a bigger flag for this previous down move. So right now, the panic is still around coronavirus. I see oil has recovered ever so slightly. And I think oil's always going to be under pressure until the Russians and the Saudis and the Americans come to some sort of an agreement around that. But it's currently up 3% already. So it has recovered quite a bit in the last 2 days. So what we see here, this is all coronavirus fear. Hang Seng is pretty flat. The only what else is there? Future gold is fairly flat as well. So there's nothing that's standing out at the moment overnight except for the US futures and the DAX futures. So those are the ones that are down right now, and I would assume the FTSE is also okay. The FTSE is also showing a few signs of weaknesses. But anyway, so this could just be it could be a flag, could be a channel. Okay, right now we're in the middle of the channel. We're on a level. Okay, there's my Brooks gap there. Okay, and we are bouncing off it at the moment. Let's get it perfect. Okay, so price is exactly hovering on that at the moment. If we get down to the hour, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm not confident just yet, but the price action that is happening at the moment, moving above the moving averages, below the moving averages, above the moving averages, and this move going into the close was pretty substantial, and that's done with volumes. In other words, the market was open. If we moved up like this, closed, and then we sort of just gapped down in the Asian session. The Asian session opened. So this downward move has been driven by low volumes, and I'm going to read too much into that at the moment. We are at a Fibonacci level, being the 50% Fibonacci, which is also a previous breakout, and there's a Brooks gap here as well on the hourly, which we've kind of tagging at the moment. Okay, so with all of that in mind, that's the level I'm looking for. Okay, this is currently a 700-point swing. So under normal circumstances, I'd be tempted to take a long right there where we are now, with a stop below the previous swing low. And the reason being is that it is technically a higher high. But at this stage, I think I will hold off on that idea and just wait for the European Open to see what happens. I wouldn't be too surprised to see this thing fall to the bottom of the channel. Bottom of the channel, which is going to be somewhere around 23,838, would interest me for a long. Okay, so in other words, what I'm getting at is this is looking like a reversal pattern on the high time frame. So it not quite a rounding bottom. It does look like a bit of a channel. This could be a bit of a double bottom, which basically means I need a close above. I'll need a 3-hour close above 25,020. Okay, let's just quickly switch across to Ichimoku. And we can just get rid of the noise here. So there's only three time frames we need to be worried about on Ichimoku, and the one is the 3 hour or the 4 hour. And at the moment, as you can see, we're still in a downward trend. So we are in between Keystone and Dickinson, which is ranging, which coincides with this channel that's forming. And then on the lower time frame, we are bullish. We're bouncing off Keystone, Dickinson, pointing to the upside, and we are bottom of not bottom of cloud, but bottom of the inside of the cloud. But we have bullish, and that's still a little bit bearish. So a few mixed signals here, but it does look fairly interesting. And then on the daily, which is the one we really need to wait for, we've got a pin bar, we've got a range bar, and it would not surprise me to see us get another pin bar here. The market loves moving in threes, multiples of threes, so it's had 2 attempts to the downside. It hasn't really succeeded, so I wouldn't be too surprised to get a third attempt down. But I'd want to see this trend line that's forming hold. Okay, but if you look at Ichimoku, everything is bearish at the moment, and we also have a much bigger measured move, which I think some bears will be still aiming for at the moment. So that's the one, and the other one that is forming at the moment would be even bigger than that, depending where that channel goes. So the channel could continue up to something like that, to gap close, and then come back down and hit here. So yeah, so putting it all together, I think I'm a little bit skeptical of any shorts right now. Just get rid of all these optics quick. Okay, so I'm a little bit skeptical of looking at shorts right now. I think if you are interested in trading this thing, lower time frames, anything from a 12 down to a 1, but make sure you're sitting in front of the charts when you do that, and you're looking for breakout trades. So right now the current breakout would be above that fractal, or alternatively below this double fractal here. But if you look to the left, you're going to see a lot of areas where buyers will step in. There's one right there. Okay, so yes, I think for me right now, sit on hands, wait for the European Open. The European Open looks like it's going to be a gap down and probably a bit of a move to the downside, and look for some value further down. Just keep this trend line in play and look for some value somewhere around that trend line. So you can pretty much argue somewhere around there, which would be 23.9, between 23.900 and 2400. That's the area that I'd be looking at to see if there's something that's going to happen. But don't expect any fireworks. I think whatever you find will be a move to the top of this channel that's forming, because you look at it as a range or as a channel. Okay, so one of the two. And the higher low would give us a little bit more confidence that we have something brewing as well. But it's going to take something coming out of the US, some good news that they can actually control the virus, because that's the fear at the moment. They can't control the virus. For this market to actually start moving up to recover that the first gap. But yeah, I'm slightly bullish at the moment. So it's a patience game. Let's wait and see, and look for some decent entries. Only breaks below here that I'm going to get a little bit worried, but still. Look for my entries and we will take it from there. Okay, so long it is that I'm looking for at the moment, but pretty much to the top of the range. This first gap close, if we do break through there, then top gap close, but it's going to be a hard task. Anyway guys, that's it for me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch you later. Cheers for now.